Russia's economy is about to crash. The September-October enlistment campaign did for the Russia economy what Western sanctions haven't. The housing market, loan demand, and consumer mood all drop. Want to know why Russia's economy is crashing? Watch the video till the end to know. But first, be sure to follow the channel so you can stay updated. Without oil and gas money, the budget would be in deficit. Russia's brainwashed citizens suspect the war is harming them. In 2023, the recession will persist. After losing in Ukraine in the spring and summer of 2022, the Russian army needed a lot of new soldiers in the fall. The official number is that 318,000 males were drafted, which is more than 1% of those who could have joined the military. However, this number is probably low. Even more people, primarily men, have left the nation to avoid the draft. Many people have had to rethink their assets and spending habits after losing their jobs. However, despite conflict and sanctions, the Russian economy has proven remarkably durable. Most experts expect Russia's GDP to shrink 7 to 8% in 2022, while some predicted a 12 to 15% drop. Prices were predicted to increase by 20 to 25%, while investments were expected to decline by 25 to 28%, and retail trade by 8 to 9%. Russia's GDP increased by 4.7% in 2021. Again, proof that a high base effect will cause a severe recession, but things went in a different direction. Sharply declining imports, limits on foreign currency exports, and a necessity for exporters to sell foreign currency earnings led to a significant appreciation for the ruble. At the same time, state help to banks and companies kept investment levels up. Short-term sanctions on Russian exports were ineffectual since high energy prices filled the state's coffers. The most accurate predictions predict that the GDP will only shrink by 3.3% to 3.4%. Inflation will peak at around 14%. Investment will reduce by 1%, and the real income for the people will fall by 2.5% to 2.7% in 2022. Only the projected decrease in retail sales at 6% comes close to the spring's forecasts. The economy escaped a recession thanks to the arms industry's tremendous rise in 2022. According to a Russian think tank, the share of undisclosed value weapons in Russia's industrial output has grown since 2021. In 2022, military goods production climbed from 1 to 2% of industrial output to 4 to 5%. The army requires more tanks, missiles, and shells during a battle. Military production helps the GDP but hurts economic well-being. The Russian economy won't enter a recession until 2022. Additionally, investments and construction will increase. Governmental assets are replacing private ones, and peaceful investments are giving away to military ones. Commodities, real estate, and advertising. Due to wartime uncertainty, private enterprises reduced investments. Chernogolovka stopped its 5 billion ruble investment in new industrial facilities, while Severstal declined to buy a new gas turbine. St. Petersburg cut its projected 2023 subway investment from 55 billion to 30 billion rubles. Budgetary assistance for investment in 2023 will be 10% lower than expected, although crucial programs such as military equipment will not be affected. Since March 2022, the car market has had the most brutal landing. Leading automakers have departed Russia, and Western suppliers of spare components are prohibited or observing restrictions. This year, only Chinese and Russian-made cars will be sold. Import restrictions and the chip issue limit automakers' options. Third-world components are scarce as Turkey and other countries avoid US and EU sanctions. Deliveries across Central Asian countries are infrequent due to crowded routes. Chinese automakers aren't in a hurry to construct assembly plants in Russia, and the Chinese government is buying out foreign shareholders. China will build new industrial facilities. The advertising industry is in serious trouble. Most advertising organizations predict a 50% decrease in advertising this year. SMB activity, notably in trade and services, is declining. Small enterprises are deliberately reducing investment and employee numbers. When the mobilization was announced, the demand for new real estate in Moscow plummeted significantly by 36 to 37%. Most developers must provide discounts of between 5 and 30% to maintain sales. In 2020 to 21, prices will climb due to government mortgage assistance. The new building is at a 5-year high, and purchasers are leaving. A prolonged recession would hurt developers, and the state is unlikely to continue supporting mortgages because the budget is in trouble and the number of bad loans is rising. To know about the banking system, watch the video till the end. Banking. In 2022, the Russian central bank raised interest rates to curb inflation and save the currency. It reduced mortgage financing by 21% in amount and 36% in the number of loans. To preserve lending, banks increased the share of mortgages requiring a small 10 to 20% down payment. The downturn in mobilization increased terrible loans. Non-payment on car loans rose 19% in September 2022, and 13% are now late. September mortgage arrears jumped 35%. Increased uncertainty, lower salaries, and forced migration of wage earners abroad and mobilization make it hard to service loans. In light of the rally, banks have decreased loan assurance across the board, which has led to a rise in delinquent loans. Banks are worried that borrowers may be sent to war and be unable to repay loans. Since 2015, tighter bank policies have reduced population debt to banks for the first time. As mobilization and the recession make previously issued loans troublesome, the loan portfolio's quality is decreasing. Possible cuts to mortgage problems will bring down house prices. Borrowers are consequently exercising greater caution. Since July, they've been dropping the average mortgage by roughly 6%, at VTB in the more expensive housing segments by almost a quarter. Since 2015, mortgage subsidies have increased housing prices and the average mortgage by 2.7 times. Export. The fall in non-oil and gas budget revenues is another economic indicator. They were 20% lower in October 2022 than the previous October. Revenue decline forces the government to raise taxes, curtail non-war spending, and borrow. Along with domestic sectors, the iron and steel industry may be struggling. Exports are failing, and companies must discount their metal. People assume Putin's military adventures come at a price. People say Russian salaries will stay the same in 2021, but this may not be true. Rosstat underestimates inflation and has modified its method for assessing income. The Russian central bank's consumer sentiment survey shows people's assessments of their current position and economic hopes have worsened. The first military victories, like taking over the Crimea in 2014, made the Russian people very happy. This joy boosted government support and consumer optimism. The summer war effort lowered consumer expectations. Russia's economic outlook is deteriorating, although it's better than in the spring. The population sees the economy more realistically than in 2022. The war's reality has slowly set in, and it is still not over. Economic disappointment will make people less likely to support Putin's dictatorship than the war. So this is it for today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon, and also like and share the video.